I think you appreciate, because I let you try to set the thing up, didn't I, Hannah? Set our studio up, and you realise, my God, David really is something.
Oh yeah, David is our hero.
So I stayed up all night waiting for the election results, and I just feel quite wrecked now. This morning, it's what time is it now? 1:30.
1:40.
But like I've suddenly thought, like, who cares? Who gives a fuck about Kamala Harris and Donald Trump?
Yeah.
I know, you know, but I you know, on the other hand, who gives a shit?
Well,
like, I mean, you know, I just don't care about it anymore.
But why did you stay up all night? Your tactic was wrong. You should have, you know, like you should have slept and get up closer to the election results. And then see Trump doing his speech.
Well, I mean, and I think maybe that's that is advice, sort of inadvertently, for Trump detractors and people who are obsessively trying to denigrate and pull this guy down. Just ignore the fuck out of him, because they're totally addicted to being outraged by him, and obviously it's beneficial for their TV shows or their news channels. Because they get more viewers when they just rip into Trump, like all the Daily Show. What's that guy, John Oliver? But I mean, their whole raison d'etre is, you know, attacking Trump, and but it just shows you how useless they are. And in a way, their attacking of Trump is a tribute to him, because he's culturally significant enough whereby they just can't stop obsessing and talking about him. And then it makes Trump look like he's fighting against fake news. So it sets him up like
he is fighting,
like John Oliver and whatever, you know. If you're great comedians and you've got a team of writers, you know, there's other things happening in the world besides fucking Donald Trump.
But listen, I think that, you know, media being against Donald Trump and comedian, that's one thing. The other thing is the whole establishment going after Trump, and
they are the establishment. That's
yeah,
part of
but
this.
Media is just like, you know, comedian here, comedian there, actor here, actor there, but there are much bigger forces behind the government, you know, behind Democrats.
That's classic conspiracy talk,
It's
Daniel.
not.
You only believe in the things that you can see. The things that are right there in front of you.
Yeah, but even
you believe in trees.
Just try to indict Trump.
Well, you know,
25, 60 times, whatever, it never worked.
What, Daniel?
Just Hannah's camera froze. I don't know why. I have no idea why.
Because even Hannah's cameras.
Hannah's cameras don't want to.
But listen, to try to indict.
And apparently there's lots of women who have, there's lots of sexual assault allegations against Trump.
Like where?
And they've all been kind of, you know, paid off and all that kind of thing. But you know, I'm surprised that stuff wasn't.
Yeah, is there a lot of allegation against Bill Clinton, against other politicians? You know, like I remember on, I just saw a clip on Ryan Taberty's show. Ryan Taberty's show? Late Show, when Ryan Taberty was the host. just let me finish. And he asked that English woman, Katie, what's her name? Katie Hopkins. You know, just saying, patronizing. Do you really want your daughter, you know, listen to a president who grabs a pussy? And she said, darling, I'd rather be grabbed by the pussy than have a pussy as a president. I thought it was really good.
Oh, jeez.
Yes.
Can you give me that chewing gum over there, Hannah? That's terrible, Hannah.
Why is it terrible? I think it's a good response. It was a very patronizing question.
She vibrates at a very strange frequency, that Katie Hopkins.
You know, there's a lot of people vibrating at a strange frequency. And I'm telling you, Hillary Clinton and all that camp, that's the most weird vibrancy you've ever seen. You know, trying to, you know, abolish First Amendment or maybe use it to, you know, censor what you're saying in your own good. I mean, thanks to Elon Musk, we still have freedom of speech.
Okay. So you're saying you're not woke then, no?
Me? No, I'm not woke.
Okay.
And I'm telling you, when they tell me that transgender people can compete with women, you know, so that's not right. We're not the same.
Okay.
We are women and there are transgender people. So if you want to have another category, make it for transgender people. But you know that United Nations came up with the research, and 900 medals were taken by transgender women, taken away from real women. 900. So 900 medals were stolen from us women. So inadvertently, we still are being bashed, because not only by men, by misogynists, but now by transgender who claiming our rights to be a woman. Yes?
And you think Trump is gonna fix
well,
that?
I'm not saying I don't know, but I think he definitely will disallow transgender people pretending to be women and taking part in Olympics and other games.
Well, they're not pretending to be women.
They are pretending. Or they feeling like women, and that's fine, but you have a different body.
Well, what about the what was her name? The Brazilian
Or that not
that we had on the show.
Yeah.
What was her
Maya.
name? Maya.
Yes.
You wouldn't say she's pretending to be a woman, would you?
No, but she's not claiming that she's a woman. She's not claiming that she wants to compete with women. You know, there's a different thing. You know, you feel like that, but it doesn't mean that everybody else has to jump around you and change the games, change the rules of biology. Mm. What, you're not feeling well? I think I have to take off my glasses because I think I can't see well.
Well, it seems like it gets an awful lot of attention, all that stuff you're talking about. And is it a way of? Is it the Conservatives use that as a distraction? You know, like there's issues that, you know, like the housing problem, jobs, mental health, exercise, food, access to good health care, all that stuff, and they just keep on going on about transgender this, transgender that.
I don't think so. I think it's the other way around. I think, you know, what Republicans were actually promoting was actually economical program which make America great again.
Jesus Christ, Daniel.
What? I mean, like, yeah, so what? I'm joining the camp. I'm actually openly.
But it's just it's quite an empty phrase.
Well, I think,
at the expense of who, though, is America being great again?
Well, listen.
What about China? What about make China great again?
But like what?
Make Vietnam great again.
Chinese, they will make themselves great again. As America,
it's funny. It's not even make Ireland great again. Just make Ireland half decent or something. Make Ireland okay.
Ireland's doing really well. You know,
Yeah.
like in a certain, like economically,
Well, I have
GDP
a question.
growth.
Do we actually need America? Like, do we actually need? Do we need them on this planet? Like, you
Go
know,
on.
Like, if America wasn't there,
Right.
would we really miss them that much?
Well, right, okay. So what? Culturally, I would say, when I was a child, I would have missed them because there's so many good TV shows.
Yeah, but
like
then,
Little House on the Prairie.
Sure.
I love the TV show The Thrill Seekers. Skateboards.
Yeah, but like,
What have the Romans ever done for us?
no, I'm just saying, like, I'm not saying they haven't done stuff, but I'm just saying in their place, obviously, other people would have.
Do you mean? Oh, do you mean kind of militarily? You know, they're supposed to be the world's policeman, kind of thing.
Yeah, I mean, maybe.
So if they weren't there, what would happen to the world?
Then we would have China
So
and
somebody
Iran. I mean, like, would you prefer that? I
Well,
don't think so.
I think China, to me, the feeling is that they just want to economically be a powerhouse. And if you ever go, I don't know. Obviously, I haven't met all Chinese people, but the vibe is that there's a very, very strong work ethic. And they want to really, prove themselves economically. And so but I don't think they're not into, invading countries and taking over. They just want to do well. They want to create wealth for themselves, which is great.
Yeah, but that's the
Although there's a
establishment.
lot of horrible shit happening in
What
China.
about freedom of speech?
Yeah, I think it's overrated, Daniel. Because do we really have freedom of speech now? I mean, Hannah was expressing her. Do we have freedom of speech?
I don't know. It's kind of like subdued. I don't know if we can exactly talk. Exactly
Well, how about this? I remember.
I don't know if we can express ourselves fully, like, and honestly, without a filter. Like,
Well, how about this? I remember when I was teaching English in Japan, in Tokyo, and they used to have these conversation salons. And then, but a lot of the some young kids, like, they wouldn't be that conversational anyway, or maybe they were shy or something. I'm just saying, freedom of speech, like, you have to have stuff to say as well. Like, some
David?
people, it's like freedom of conversation.
Yeah, but that's you're talking about, like, everyday conversation and being chatty and
yeah.
not. But I grew up in a communist country.
Okay, so
you
who's
never experienced.
So we can say
suppressed.
Simon Harris, the leader of Ireland, is an asshole. Whether he is or not is the point. But the freedom to say that's great. So,
you wouldn't be able to say it if you were in a communist Poland.
I will say to people, a side effect of freedom is that you're able to. So in other words, the fact that I am saying Simon Harris is an asshole, the leader of Ireland, is actually a healthy sign that our democracy is open and very.
Exactly.
So Simon Harris is an asshole.
Yeah, even though you don't know why is he an asshole.
But I'm just saying.
Is the Taoiseach of Ireland automatically an asshole?
No, I'm just expressing my freedom of expression. Although the stuff you're talking about is particularly contentious about individuals, men and women, wanting to transition into a different gender, sex, but a thing.
But listen,
And,
no one
but
has
the only thing is, I would say,
against that.
yeah, but I would say,
That's
though, that it's the same thing with Trump. If you just let them at it and just leave and support them, wish them goodwill, but constant looking into it. Although I think it's not necessarily the individuals. To me, it's not necessarily the individuals who are transitioning or whatever, who are neurologically who are whatever, have medical issues. It's the fact that when people tell you this is how you think, this is what it is, this is and even if people agree with the thing people just don't like to be told what to think or what to say or how to react or how to process stuff. And people are naturally oppositional, and it does make you go, hey, fuck you. You're 30 years younger than me. You've had zero life experience. I knew the stuff that you were telling me before you were fucking born. And now, actually, because I don't like the way you're talking to me, I'm going to say the exact opposite to what you're telling me to think, just to fucking annoy you, fuckface. There's a little bit of that going on. Is that fair enough to say? No, or did you even tune?
I
Yes.
think it's human nature for people to disagree on,
Right.
on certain topics.
Yes.
Like they'll just do it whether it's true or
True or not? Yeah,
And
people just are argumentative.
I mean, it's all over the internet. Even,
Yeah.
even on a post that outlines that particular statement, saying that people won't agree on it, people disagree on that anyway. You know, that's how deep it goes. Like, I mean, it's just difference of opinion. I think it's always gonna be like that.
But like, in other words, if a family member was very sensitive and very upset and was going through a big crisis where they wanted to transition, and it was a real thing.
Yeah, definitely.
It's a real thing, and you would hate the idea.
It.
You would hate the idea that people are, you know, if they're in a highly vulnerable position, that people are mocking them. But so when you were talking, but this idea of sports and all that, yeah, I don't know. It just seems like such a.
Listen, but that's
I don't know.
That's
It's
a
just
woke thing. That's a one thing which, let's say, Kamala Harris, she.
But it seems like such a
supported.
small thing.
But it's not
is it
really
not?
that small, because, you know, like, you think it's only 900 people who's taken. But all these sport things go across the campuses, let's say all over America. Only like 3 best sportsmen get a sponsorship, you know, to progress. So it really influenced a lot of women, influence how the system works, and it's all across, you know, the whole country.
Well, I think with woke, there was this great Jesus Christ. I never remember the name of this this French philosopher,
Oh, yeah.
Jacques. What?
Yeah.
French philosopher. I'm going to have to cut this out. Wait.
But you know what Kamala Harris said? She said they will offer the transgender operation, even in a prison. So if you're in a prison and you've got an idea that you don't like a male prison and you want to go to female prison, if you request it, she said she will facilitate it. I'm not making it up. This is insane. This is insane, to taxpayer money to channel to a prisoner who wants to change their sex, and she said she will facilitate it.
Well, you know, I think it comes from the idea that there are socially constructed roles in society whereby, you know, I'm a woman because this, and this. And I think maybe it's so complicated to make.
I think all politicians have agendas that they have to push that are being supported by people around them, you know. So you don't even know, like, if this is what the people like Camilla or Trump, they actually believe.
Kamala. Camilla is Charles, the King Charles, Queen of England.
Okay. But like, you know, they all have agendas that they have to push by people they're being supported by. So like, you don't even know if Trump or Kamala really believe the things that they are saying.
Yeah. I hear what you're saying.
So it's all a big game, really. You know.
I know, but there is a manifesto, and you know, people look at their policies and they say, I like this or I like that, and choosing, and then after 4 years, they're gonna, you know, check it out, and then they could be re-elected or they're gonna go, you know.
Well,
so
I
is
think
a system that people are checking what are they doing, how they fulfilling their promises.
There's leaps in logic, like, so there was a French philosopher called Jacques Derrida, and he was famous for deconstructionism. So, you know, there's clips of him on YouTube where he's talking about words, and the evolution of words and what they came, and then it makes you think, well, like, what are we actually talking about? A word, like he says difference, the word difference or something, and he starts pulling apart this word, and you know, because we say words, and I assume, I think I know what the word difference represents, and I assume, but if you start looking into it, and he starts I'm just saying it just gets very complicated, very odd, very weird, and I think there's an element of that in the woke thing.
Probably, but we have language, so we can communicate.
Yeah.
So every word, we have to establish the base, because otherwise we cannot be on the same level. Because I can say tree, and you can say, oh, tree is not a tree. Tree is something else. You know, it's a variation of tree. And other tree, no, we have to establish that certain words mean certain things, and that's why we can exchange our opinions.
Yeah, like if I was in court being prosecuted, I'd want Jacques Derrida to be my defense lawyer, because he'd just object to everything and saying everything. So I mean, like, I'm stumped.
He's a philosopher,
yeah.
so he philosophizes. He looks at things in a different angle. Doesn't mean that all of us are like that. So there is a possibility. But who says that
I guess when you get on board with the way he thinks and you tune in and you really kind of try to, and I really, really, really try to understand.
And you get confused.
Yeah, confused. And then you think, well, what is a woman actually? What is a woman?
Yeah. What is a woman biologically?
Woman. Or then biologically, yeah.
Biologically, woman is like me. I am a biological woman.
Yeah.
I've got ovaries. I've got different hormones than men.
Yeah.
I've got, chromosomes. And it is scientifically established what man is. And, you can argue it, but it's silly.
It's funny, isn't it? It's funny though. It's funny.
Right.
Like I wouldn't like it. Like if you had told me that we would have a conversation like this, in the 70s or 80s, you just. But I mean that's and then other people say it's a sign that our society is collapsing, that we're arguing about stuff like this. But maybe it's good to open things up. Oh yeah, but I think. Oh God, do you know something? Maybe I'm fearful, and I'm trying to understand from everybody's point of view, but I don't know.
And also,
but in the end, it's weird just talking about
what
the election and then getting all on these tangents. There's a lot of tangents.
But going to elections, what we have to admire that Trump, despite all these adversities, he came back. And apparently, he's the only president who came back with such a triumphant entry. They say even Nixon, who came 8 years after, so, because I was saying that in 1960s he was a president, and then 8 years later he came back. But he was the only one who could do it. Like no one did it before Trump. And that's very admirable. He's like invincible. He's like a machine. You can't stump it. And also like people, people bought his idea. They bought his, he sold them the idea of America, which is doing well. The economy is getting better. The people are getting better. And, no matter, what you say, he just said, have you better life when I was a president? Or was it better when Biden and Kamala Harris was? So, it's an obvious choice for people. So, people have spoken.
Well, I mean, if everything you say is correct, then it should be all fine, right?
Yeah, right.
No, there's never fine. There's always problems. But, there's
well,
a
then
hope.
It doesn't solve anything.
But there's a hope, in what I found it really inspiring is when Trump came out in the rally, his speech this morning. The people weren't chanting Trump, Donald Trump. They was, chanting USA, USA, because they're very patriotic, I think, Americans, when they come to those.
Anyway, I think
gatherings.
this is an example. Like I don't think I'm a Trump supporter, honestly. I mean, yeah, there's certain things I like watching, and it's funny, and he looks anti-establishment while being very much a part of the establishment. But I love Hannah, although I disagree with Hannah. So, but we can peacefully coexist. But it does feel like human beings, their nature. It's like we're playing a subliminal chess game, or there's a sort of an unseen war all the time, and we're always trying to set out traps for each other. Whether it's maybe it's like traps, and maybe we're in denial of these traps that we're trying to set for each other, and we're trying to catch each other out, and we're jealous of each other's success, and we look down on people if I think I'm better than you. As far as religion, the thing that stumped me was the leaps of faith. I couldn't go there, when Jesus did this, and then he created this and created that, and he came down and he's the Father and the Son. And then if you try and question it, if you try and question it too much, you get these people who study what do you call it? Religious studies in these big theology, and they kind of have this misty-eyed look, and the beautiful sacred mystery of this fucking and I never was able to buy it, but I never believed it. It just slightly repulsed my curiosity. And so with a lot of this woke ideology, there's certain parts of it that require leaps of or even forget about leaps of faith, but certainly if you start really trying to forensically examine stuff, which is a natural, normal thing to do. It's the reason, I don't know, we live longer and all the rest of it. You get that reaction where stop it, and then so that
it's like hysteria.
Yeah, so that turns.
They can't really. They make up words to win the argument.
That turns me off as well. But then, ultimately, on both sides of every fucking thing, people are good. They're well intentioned. People believe that they're standing up for the right thing and all that kind of stuff.
But there's only one winner, so you have to either or if you're in America.
Well, there's a winner if we're playing a game or fighting a war, but why can we not play a game or fight a war?
And fair enough. And you know what, Trump when he came out this morning, he said, let's bring America together.
I like his wife. What's her name?
Melania Trump.
Yeah, Melania.
Yeah, she's really, and all his family is actually very, very good looking.
And I like Kamala. I like Kamala. I like her laugh. I really like Kamala. I think I like her more now that she's. I kind of hope that she'd win because I do think she does look presidential.
She is a clacking hen.
And I like the way she laughs.
Yeah, like she has nothing to say, and then she
does
laughs.
Have stuff to say.
Yeah, you know what she said?
What stuff does Trump say?
Well, she can't answer the question. If you ask her, what are you gonna do about inflation? Do you know what she says? She says, the prices of bread are going up. It's very difficult. We're trying to rectify it, and we're gonna be working on it, and we worked before, and we're gonna work in the future, and we understand.
That's a good answer. But
I mean, like, it means nothing.
Kamala Harris, she's when she's talking, it's kind of almost she's about to cry or laugh or something like that, and it's really like that.
It's a nervous laughter.
Anyway,
I know it because I had it as well.
Can we talk about the weather, please? Oh yeah, Daniel, you were saying today it's unseasonably warm, weren't you?
Yes, I think maybe global warming, yet another issue.
Oh my God.
Well, I don't know if it's actually global, but yeah, it seems warmer than it should be, and it's November, like, and it's 18, 19 degrees, like, it's kind of, it's a bit weird, I think, in my opinion.
Then we were talking to our neighbour who's on Seeking Arrangements. This website, Seeking Arrangements.
That girl next door?
So older guys go on this website to have dinner dates, Daniel?
Didn't we talk about this already?
Well, we're talking about it again. Hello.
I said it to David. We already talked about
We
it.
talked about this. We cannot repeat ourselves. We know that all the guys wants to get young girls, pay them €2,000. Hopefully somebody send it invitation to me, like 85-year-old guy.
But I like paying for. It doesn't matter how old they are. I always like, if I have money, I like that feeling that I'm generous.
Oh,
yeah, you are generous, but this is a different thing, David.
So you reckon? Yeah, listen. So older guy is hoping that this dinner date will turn into something else.
Or maybe not. I don't know.
But how the fuck am I going to spend, $2,000?
There are some people
talking to some young one.
Yeah, there are some people.
I'm not looking for a fucking pen pal.
Yeah, but that's not you. There are some other men who have different ideas. If a man is 80 years old, he can't get it even up, So why would he even think about something
I'm looking
sexual?
for a wank pal.
Can we talk about something else? We've talked about it up and back in.
Have you heard of a website called Omegle or like Monkey Chat?
No.
It's a website where you get to talk to strangers on video chat.
Oh yeah, about what?
About
anything.
No, anything. Like literally, you just get paired.
But it just turns into guys wanking. That's all it does.
But they stopped that apparently. So it's just people just showing up and just doing like little faces on the screen or whatever.
And that's it?
Yeah, and sometimes you can talk to people, but like it's
about
weird.
what? I think
it's the end of the world as we know it.
Being in a mental asylum and people just elevated to a thing.
It's so funny. Like before the internet and before this and before that, like when you think about the things that we were doing, we lived much more in our imagination. It's funny, I saw this kid yesterday, this little kid, and she was so high on her... How old was she, Daniel? 5 or 6? Were you there? Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
And she was just like so engrossed in her imagination. Like I said hello, and she was like... she could just barely come out of the imaginary world that she was in and then straight back into it. I mean, and skipping and jumping and so if there was a drug that you could take that would make you feel and put you in that world, it would be quite something. But I mean, it's such a special time in a human's life when you're that age and you're jumping around and you're skipping. Like, how happy do you need to be to skip? When's the last time you skipped?
When was the last time you skipped, David?
A few days ago when I was feeling a bit funny.
Yeah, skipping for mental health. I think we should...
But it was beautiful, though. It's such... that's kind of... Like, if I was running for something, I'd say just protecting that world, that little imaginary world for kids. It's just so special, so exciting, wonderful to watch. It's lovely to watch.
Yeah. But aren't we all want to protect our children?
Yes. No, protect children. No, children. How long have we been broadcasting Shadows and Dust?
33 minutes.
You don't need to have like long episodes,
Where are you going? Where are you going today?
I'm going to Spain.
The way she puts on the voice.
España.
España, viva España! But I'm not
going to Spain.
Are you not playing in Barcelona?
I'm performing in Barcelona.
And there are big floods in Barcelona as well.
Are there?
How are you gonna get there? Are you going there on Saturday, like in the morning, because you're playing somewhere else on Friday? Am I gonna be your personal assistant?
Yeah.
Are you gonna be like flooded?
Well, I assume by that time. By that time, huh?
I don't know, but like there.
Well, it's the 16th or something. What's the date today?
It's next week. It's next week. Yeah, there's like 10 days.
Well, yeah, it's 10 days. So it'll be finished in 10 days, Hannah.
Well, who knows?
Well, they're not just going to leave the water there.
Apparently they do.
What do you think about Hannah going on about Trump, Daniel? Well, you're not a Trump supporter, are you?
No, I mean, I think he's more of like a reality TV show star, being a president. But you know, if you know, it's hard to, you know, argue against majority. But
I think also he's quite funny, which is quite especially
he is funny. Like
he's got a kind of comedic.
But also, you know, like, come on, Ronald Reagan, he was
an actor.
He was an actor, and also like people just really dismissing him.
I was amazed when I was a kid and I saw Ronald Reagan. I thought he was so affected. I couldn't understand. Well, why people, you know, Ronald Reagan, he'd sort of, well, I guess, and I'd be looking at him going, how can people, like it's almost like I was living in a world where people thought that was real, and I, you know, I'm almost, look, can you not see? It's all an edifice. It's all artifice. It's just and it was the same with Margaret. With Margaret Thatcher, she put on that voice, and it was all fake as fuck. I'm an outsider. I am an alien.
But what did they call her? She was
the Iron Lady.
The Iron Lady. So, you know, like, as fake as she is, she, you know, she ran that cabinet, and, you know, as an Iron Lady, and didn't she run the war in
Falklands?
And she won.
Well, I mean, for God's sake, it was the British Army.
She defeated.
She didn't. She wasn't fighting.
I know, but she defeated the coal workers.
Yeah.
But she was on the top. She, you know, it's not just Donald Trump. It's not just.
Look,
you know,
I just think the important thing
cabinet.
is to say Simon Harris is an asshole, and I think that's very
and listen,
good.
I grew up during the communist time.
Okay.
We couldn't read the books.
Yes.
I read a lot of books in the form of like underground, you know, printing press. Like you couldn't go to the library and get them. You couldn't say what you wanted. Like if you said something against the, you know,
Jaruzelski.
just. You know, the ruling party, you'd be just having SB knocking at your door.
You'd have the who?
You know, just Secret Service knocking at your door, maybe dragging you somewhere where you didn't want to go.
Well, hardly in Elbląg, would they? Would they be coming to you in Elbląg?
Yeah, I mean, you know, there's an opposition in Elbląg as well. They'd be everywhere.
God, you remember there were certain parts of Poland. Remember I used to visit you in the winter time. Jesus Christ.
But there was already after.
That was after.
Yeah.
It's funny though. That was just after though, you know. Yeah. And then you know you'd have to get some taxi, and they'd always try to rip you off.
And they never smile.
And then you remember some of your friends that they lived in those grey sort of apartment blocks.
Oh yeah, concrete apartment blocks.
There was some name for them.
Yeah, Falowiec. So is this in a shape of wave?
Yeah.
You know, just a wave in the sea. And
but I mean, you know, the thing is though, the Polish people living there, I mean, they had a standard of living, and they did. There was something about Polish people, like they didn't have much, but they lived okay, didn't they? I mean, with the tiny, like fairly small amount of resources. Are you embarrassed? Are you embarrassed to talk about that?
No, not at all.
Why are you laughing when I say
because you know,
because I think people with more resources over here sort of complain about.
You wouldn't know.
You wouldn't know what
if they would complain or not.
Who wouldn't?
You know, because you say
I wouldn't know
people,
what.
If the people, you know, like
which people were here or
in Ireland, yeah, and also there were people in Ireland who experienced hardship as well.
You mean now? Yeah.
Not in the 60s or 50s. Not everybody was born in Glenard Avenue, you know. In a big
Hannah,
house.
I'm talking about working class people. I'm talking about the amount of money that Polish person was getting in the 80s versus your average Irish person.
Oh, yeah.
They would have been making a lot less. The Polish person, like fuck all, right? But somehow they managed to live in a way that, well, I suppose it's survival, isn't it?
Yeah,
you just get it.
And also, you know, the products were much cheaper than here. I mean, there's all relativity, and there's just lack of anything in the shop. That was the biggest problem. It's just like you go to a shop and you got empty shelves. Like, it's very hard to imagine.
It's very hard to imagine.
You go to a shop and you just have white wine vinegar on the shelf. Nothing else. And the funniest thing is, I've forgotten that there's a complaint book, so you could write a complaint about the shop, but you had to leave your ID.
Yeah.
So there was no complaints.
No complaints.
Because otherwise you were
Did
not allowed.
Did nobody come up with something funny? Say, listen, I love this shop. I just love the choice of white wine vinegar. It's my favourite shop, and I'm just so happy. And just keep going, and we really all wish you well in the community. Yeah. No, because then they'd sense the sarcasm. I remember visiting you. God, you remember I tried to get... I almost got robbed on a fucking train. It was such a nightmare. Those criminals with their scary criminal faces. But I was smart. I saw them trying to rob me on the train.
And you were screaming, they're robbing me, and no one reacts.
No one reacts. All the Poles were just going... and going, help! Fuck off. Just get robbed like the rest of us. Going to those shops in Elbląg, and you'd walk in and you'd go, right, okay. And you'd see one, Snickers. Snickers. Mars bar. Welcome. Come into this room. Orange. It's really tough. And it was so cold.
But now we have everything.
Yeah. Now we have everything.
Yeah. And
now we
Poland,
and yet
Poland,
nothing.
And yet nothing.
And Poland's not far behind Ireland and any other European country.
Poland. Hannah loves Poland, don't you, Hannah?
I do love Poland, yeah. I'm not sure if I like to visit.
Yeah.
Living in Poland, maybe it's not as rosy as it looks from the other side, you know? It's a different reality.
Who's your friend in Warsaw, Kasia?
Kasia, yeah.
And who are your friends in Elbląg?
Or shall I say the name? Monika, Agata, Marta.
Yeah, Marta.
Yeah.
Who's the girl who's the doctor?
Renata. And she's married to an Irish
Mick.
Mick.
Do you remember Mick, Daniel?
He speaks Polish
sure.
now. Okay.
Right.
Well.
Oh, so you're heading off to finger your hola. Sorry, Daniel. So bad.
It's so bad.
Yeah. Well, I tried to call Pat McDonald to be on the podcast.
Well, you refused?
No, he was doing stuff, and then who else did I call?
What
John Spillane, this other comedian, but he said he's working.
All right.
What about Paddy Cullivan?
And then I felt like texting him back on, what are you working at? Don't fucking lie to me. Huh?
Yeah, they just didn't want to come over.
Yeah.
And also, like, you know, supporting some, friction in America is a bit of fun. Mm-hmm. And you can get, over the top, and you can, make fun of it because you're not there.
Yeah.
And it's just the thing you just follow. And it's not like life and death situation. But it's going to be interesting time, I think.
I did a gig in the Crackdown a few days ago, and there was a small audience. It was a Sunday night, and it was a small audience, and there was comedians there. And I walk in, my ego's, up to 10 or whatever, and I'm kind of looking at the comedians on stage and kind of rolling my eyes, and I'll go on and rip that place apart, So then it comes to my turn, and I go on and just like, I don't know, just like, So I was, oh. And suddenly I was I didn't know what to do or what to say, but I was dying. I felt dying, and I don't know what happened, but I did worse than anyone, or as bad. No, I did worse. I did worse than all the other comedians. And yeah, you know, it was just like a complete. It was just like you know, humility just took a baseball bat to my balls. And I felt very humbled.
But why did it happen? Is it because you were so cocky before going on stage?
Yeah.
And it sort of clouded your sharpness?
Absolutely. Yeah. And we just, instead of just reading the room and, you know. So also that light is particularly bright, so you can't see. Anyway, that's all fucking excuses. But no, I didn't read the room, didn't look in, you know, hello, how are you? You know, you're not, you know, you can joke and say, I'm too big for this room. No, you're not. You're in the fucking room. You're exactly there. Shut your fucking mouth. And yeah, it was a good wake up call. But the thing is, I need wake up calls. So I'm now. I think I'm temporarily woke now, but I'll be back to sleep. But look, we wish everyone well. How long have we been broadcasting?
Of course. I mean, you know, whoever.
45 minutes.
45.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, and Daniel, you were saying funny thing about introducing color television in different countries, and
do you remember when color TV? I remember seeing it in this early 70s. I think my grandfather.
I remember black and white television.
Yeah, I mean it's funny. People don't realize, like, we grew up with black and white TV, and I mean it was pretty exciting.
Yeah,
you know, like
yeah,
TV.
It was really small, and somehow you knew the colors.
Yeah,
even though it was black and white, it didn't really bother you.
Yeah, black and white. But I remember like being amazed with color TV. Color TV. I think I saw it in my grandfather's house first. Mm-hmm. He got a color television. So that would have been in the early 70s.
Yeah, I remember we used to Poland started getting color television from Russia.
Yeah.
But they used to go on flames.
They used to burst into flames.
But only important people could get that television.
Yeah. Oh, listen, trying to get a fucking telephone in Ireland, you'd be on a waiting list for 4 years.
Well, you know, you remember you were calling me. We still didn't have a telephone. It's in 1993.
Where did I call? Where did you answer?
Oh, I had to go to my neighbor who had this big dog, and I was scared shitless each time I enter his house.
Isn't that, there's always some fucking gobshite in a neighborhood with a big, dumb, barking bastard of a useless, what's the fucking point? It takes away from the pleasure of living there, annoying fucking dog.
But
and then he walks up and down
one.
the fucking...
It was a huge
dog. Big, huge bear. And then he's walking up the road. Oh, sure, this guy's doing me head in. Well, then fucking shoot it.
But listen, you don't know. I mean... In Ireland, people with big, small dogs, they civilize. In Poland, especially at that time, no one would walk with the dog. They would just open the door and let the dog run out and do the shit themselves.
Yeah.
So they wouldn't be walking the big dog. So it was like a hazard.
Yeah.
Each time you get out of your own house, you could be attacked by that dog.
Yeah.
And no one did anything.
Yeah. I know. We should just walk around with a baseball bat with a fucking nail at the top of it. Just whack the thing. Why'd you kill my dog?
We should have a purge night each year.
Yeah.
And just kill each other for a day.
Oh, stop it, Daniel. Yeah. And so I'd call you at his house.
Yeah, so I would go there, and it was just like traumatic experience every time. And poor Daniel probably felt in my belly.
God, that's amazing, Hannah, isn't it? Back then, we didn't have mobile phones. We had landlines where you go...
And you know, when you call and the return payment, sort of, you know, like that somebody had to accept...
collect call.
Collect call, accept the payment for the phone call. So funny.
Yeah. But everyone figured out how to keep in touch somehow. Give me your phone number. Okay. Hello? Cześć. Hannah? Hello. Who's that? Yeah, it's funny the different dial tones in Tokyo. In Japan, it's woo 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 woo, where here it's you know. Anyway, yeah. Is that it, folks?
Yeah.
Because you have to go. You have to go.
Yeah. What? When do you have to go?
Pretty soon.
Okay. Well then, yeah. 50 minutes.
Adios, amigos.
Thank you, Daniel.
Thank you.
Like and subscribe. We don't care. We're going to persist
without
without you.
Persist, yeah.
Okay, thanks, Hannah. Best of luck. Oh, yeah, you're back. When is it? 8 days.
I'm back on the 14th.
I'm back in and you better not, mess around with that guy. And also, Daniel, yeah, we're going to do, we'll get a guest. Maybe get Debo.
Okay, cool.
Okay, see you.
Cool.
Bye. Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye, everyone.